All right, back here with our what if uh, Contra Drive scenario. Retro 1987. And Ronald Reagan's in office, and the Republicans are pushing back. So the old Soviet Union's drive into Central America. And the Contras are backed by the United States in a nice little offensive here that has sprung up within the country. And this game-wise, though, victory points only come east of this little line of hex, this little hex line here. Victory hexes are represented by these blocks. Gray block is supply source, orange block is some kind of airport or port. But them are the targets of the game. And there you go. You can see I did pretty good down here. He's got some forces lingering around here. It'll be really curious to see which way they go. As I said in the last scenario, if they go up north or if they come back here southeast to try to retake this big old airport. Right now, the push is on. The game started with the Nicaraguans had their hands tied. They can only bring in reinforcements on this little hex here called Metagalpa. Well, I was able to surround it and project Contra zones of control into that hex. That prevented him from getting reinforcements. Unfortunately, he was able to clear out the zones of control and bring in a bunch of massive reinforcements, and that's what started this offensive here. But all reinforcements are on the board. We only got 1, 2, 3, 4 more turns. And right now the Contras are on the offensive with their combat. We only have one hex that we're trying to gain control of. And it's this little hex here. Now it's only an airport hex. Let me see. I think it's more like an airstrip. And that's worth 1 victory point. But I got to hang on to it to turn 12. So is it worth all the push I have here? Should I be going back this way? Could be debated. I do have a spot right here that is a supply source / airport or airfield, airstrip. And that'll be a big source of victory points. Right now, I think the burden's on the Sandinistas because they only have 1 victory point, and I'm all the way up here to 9. Whew, did that thing get moved? Yeah, I guess it did a little bit. There you go. All right. So there you go. When we come back, I'm going to look at everything, straighten everything up. It'll be a little battle here. The Contras are trying to take this airstrip. It's in a lighter territory. That's more of a forest. Dark green's jungle, and the brown is mountain jungle. So terrain's a little bit less dense around that airstrip. But if we can hang on to that, kind of use this as an anchor, and maybe slip back here, try to get some forces going on. I pulled forces back. I was going to go after that, but we need to consolidate up here. So anyway, you can kind of see where the battle's happening. Ain't going into Honduras. There's penalties on that, but there are victory points right over the border if he wants to violate their neutrality. All up to my opponent. We'll be back for my combat at turn number 8. Alright, first things first on this combat. It's been a few days, but I forgot that I had me a unit that was a helicopter assaulting this hex. You can see here the old UH Huey, Contra UH Huey's on its yellow side, and its capacity has been reduced to 1/2. So he suffered casualties in a helicopter assault. Also, the paratroop units suffered a step loss too, so they got shot up pretty good assaulting this hex. Now, before we go into the main combats, we have to figure out the result of the combat between the paratroopers and a step loss MPS Nicaraguan Infantry Brigade. So there you go. This will be a nice little fight here. If we could take it with the helicopter assault units, we won't have to have another bigger battle when Sokoff attacks. So we'll see what's up. This would be a real key assault here. We'll get right to it here when we come back. All right. Well, before we go on with our little helicopter assault there, we have a rule infraction that has been overlooked by both me and my opponent. Helicopter assaults with units here can only take place in clear and rough terrain. And I guess it makes sense. Now, I would have thought there might have been a caveat, and I'm still going to look about airports because there's a landing strip there. I don't know how detailed this game wants to get, but when you would think with a airport that would negate the difficulty, and I could see the point of trying to get into a forested hex and a jungle hex. But like I said, in reality, the Hueys could always hover over the canopy and drop, lines down, and they drop down the lines. That's usually what happens. But right now, I'm going to get a hold of my opponent and tell him that this whole assault here didn't happen. So I'm flipping all these units back over to their full side. I'm thinking about rebasing them again for a transport mission. It does say specifically that it has to be a friendly occupied hex, or a friendly supplied hex. But the caveat is, again, clear and rough terrain. So I'm looking to see if airports or airstrip in the hex allows it. If not, I'm going to rebase that unit. We'll say it was during a transfer mission right here, this little hex there. So, look at my pointer. Yeah, this is our little weak spot along the river. So we'll put some special forces units there. If he is not allowed to helicopter assault on an airstrip, we'll be right back with the rule clarificazione. Alright. Well, we've had a little bit of back and forth with my opponent, and I pointed out the same thing that he did. Because of the airstrip being there, it would supersede the restrictions about going into a forested or jungle or mountain jungle hex. And here might even back it up. Transport helicopters, which that UHUE is, can move infantry ground units and supply depots from one air facility to another. So that pretty well takes care of it right there. It doesn't say anything about now, if there isn't an air facility there, it must be clear and rough terrain. So we're going to go ahead with the assault. We're going to have to flip these units back over to their other side, and we're going to have combat with this unit here. Now, another thing is, here's the combatants. I do believe, in lieu of a step loss, that this unit can use a supply source or supply depot as a step loss. So instead, if he suffers a step loss in combat, he could use up the supply depot. I'm pretty sure that's part of the rules. Let me go ahead and go through some more reading, and we'll be back with the combat for. Oh, there you go. A little village called SIU. Sayuna. There you go. We'll be back. Alright, well, here's the key line that I'm looking at here. A supply depot can be used to absorb one step loss, and the markers removed from the game, from the map. So we'll keep that in mind for future combats. When we come back, we will have the results of the combat. These old boys coming on in here got shot up pretty good, so they're both suffered a step loss. This unit already at the airstrip has a step loss too, so we will be attacking. I don't know if you could use this close air support on a helicopter assault, so I'll have to look that up real quick. I'm pretty sure this is going to be into effect if this fails, and all of these units, where are we at? All these units here proceed with the attack. That's when the +1 die roll modifier comes into effect. So we'll be right back. We got a little bit more rule legalese to look into. We'll be right back. All right, then the combat will include this unit here versus this one here. Now this will be a 1-2 attack initially in the forest. So get this over here. Forest 1-2. Ooh, 1-2. Here you go. 1-2 attack in the forest is the initial combat ratio. Now that'll be adjusted as follows with our column shifts. Artillery, no. Engineers, no. Special Forces, yes. So that'll bring us up there to 1 box in our favor. So the current combat ratio will be going up to the right. All right. A tank, attack helo, no. And a CIA electronic warfare ground unit, no. So there will be all of our column shifts. The diral modifiers will be as follows, and that'd be for this hex there with the airstrip. All attacking units across a river, hex side. No, this is for the helicopter assault, so he's going right on into the hex. Fort entrenchment, no. City, town, or port, no. Insurgency unit included in the defense, no. There's a regular unit there. Each bombardment point delivered, no, not for this attack. We're not including it. This is separate. So right now it's just the old boys dropping some. Well, probably landing the Hueys on the airstrip and engaging. So there you go. An insurgency unit included in the attack, and that'll be a yes. So we'll get a +1 die roll modifier. And like I said, no insurgency units. It was a regular unit. The bombardment point will come for the combat preceding this combat if this combat isn't successful. So we will go into the vassal mod, update everything, and let you know what the allied die roll is. We'll give it good luck by putting it on this side. +1 die roll modifier. We'll be right back. Alright, vassal die roll was a 3. So we'll go up to a 4 on this combat. Looks good. We'll see here. That equals a 1 step loss for the defender. That'll eliminate him. It has no required retreat result. Now, he can use that supply depot to take that hit, which will leave him in the hex, which is problems for me. So we'll take the supply depot off of here, and we'll go on to the regular combat. I have to see what goes on with him. He might be eliminated if he doesn't take the hex. So let me find out what the results of the combat means for my unit. Luckily for my opponent, he had a supply depot, and as we just seen, that can be used to absorb a hit. We'll be right back. Alright, then Nicaraguan MPS Infantry Brigade is repelled in attack, or in a helicopter assault. My units must retreat, and I think the hex they're going to retreat to will be right here. We'll put them upside down and scoot them on into, what did I do with them? I'm looking at the wrong. Here you go. All right, they'll scoot on in there. They won't be able to participate in the upcoming attack if they retreat. And this boy here can be rebased. I guess I'll rebase him in the same spot, so he's going to be flipped over upside down. Where are we at here? Here we go. So these units here will be moved into this hex. This hex still has stacking limits. I'm still under stacking limits because it's only 1 point per unit on insurgency or support units. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a maximum of 5, and he don't count. So that's the before. Alright, this here is the after. Now we will proceed with the next combat. Since the helicopter assault was repelled, we have all these units are going to try out a combat now battle. The only thing is, one of these units here has to have a real bad odds attack against these 2 hexes, so that the other 2 units in this hex can attack this one. We'll be right back with the attack. Alright, we'll concentrate on the main attack first, then go into the little soak-off attack. Right here we have these units here. These 2 units here just retreated, so they're coming back all bruised and battered with their casualties. But we do have 1, 2, 3 Contra insurgency units, 4, 5, 6 attack factors there. Let me figure out who I want to use in this stack, because somebody has to go for a soak off. Let me see here. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7, 8. Okay, we'll save that one. We'll want this guy here with his 2 defense factors to stay. So we have 8 attack factors that are all full strength. versus 2 defense. So it's a 4-to-1 attack. We'll have to check that out. And we have a, oh, sorry, bad camera work. A close air support mission. Let me check my numbers. We'll be right back. All right, that initial combat ratio for the airstrip is a 4-to-1 attack. Here you go. Initial ratio 4-to-1. That will be modified by the following: artillery, no; engineers, no; tank, no; special forces, no. Tank Hilo, no; and the CIA electronic warfare, so there are no column shifts. Now for die roll modifiers. Attacking across the river. No, I don't think anybody is attacking across the river, so that's good. Fort entrenchment, no. City, town, or port, no, it's a village. An insurgency unit is included in the defense, and it is not. It's a regular unit. So, let's hold on a second. Move this on up here. Current combat ratios is same as the initial. Each bombardment point delivered, we have a +1, so we'll get a +1 die roll modifier. An insurgency unit is included on the attack, and that is a yes, so we get +2. So for this combat here, where are we at? We'll get a +1 die roll modifier for insurgency units to be included in the attack, and +1 for our close air support. So it'll be a 4-to-1 attack with a +2 die roll modifier. Love it live. Need a good click on the Vassal mod. Be right back. Well, can you say pulling your putt? I get a 1 on the freaking die roll, so that's +2, so we'll get a 3. But we got really good odds here, so I think we'll still be alright. So for the attack, yeah, here you go. Oh, where's my, sorry, bad camera work. We have a 1, +2 is a 3. 3 over here, right here. Come on down. 1 step loss and has to retreat. Fortunately for us, he used up his supply depot, so he will have to take a step loss. So that'll eliminate him. And you know what? Unless there's a regular ground unit included in my attackers, I won't be able to advance, but I do believe, let's see here. Yeah, we got a regular ground unit there, so that's required for advance after combat. All right, we have eliminated a Nicaraguan MPS. Let me pause this for a second. All right, then. The MPS is the Sandinistas, a People's Militia. So that's who we've just eliminated, and we have taken that airstrip. Let me be right back. All right, People's Militia eliminated. They had a step loss, so they were under strength to begin with, but there you go. We have moved in a regular unit from here, a 2 defense factor strength insurgency unit from here, and another insurgency unit in here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 defense factors in our newly acquired airstrip. You'll see here underneath the victory point chart that we have to hold on to that till turn 12 to get 1 victory point. Was it worth it? I think so. We got a pretty good spot around here, anchored with these units here. So now we got this here. I think that's going to be it for my movements. I don't have any reserve movements because all my insurgency units turn sideways. I think they've moved their maximum. So let me straighten everything up. When we come back, it will be reserve movement phase, second insurgency to spam it phase. We'll check that out. Helicopter transport and return to base, so it'll be just a little bit of cleaning up. Let me show you what goes on. We're done with a little bit of housekeeping. I'll be right back. All right, well, there you go. Thank God for insurgency unit modifiers and close air support, or else that might have been a dead attack. Let's see. Well, now, even with a 0, I had pretty good odds. Even with a 0 or -1, he still would have had to have retreated. He just might not have had to take a step loss, but I had him surrounded with zones of control, so either way, the old Sandinista People's Militia was not long for this world. All right, well, let's see what we got going on here. Like I said, we will move on to the reserve movement. We don't have no reserve movement. Second insurgency to spam it phase. I don't believe I want to disband any more units. We will see here. I think they all need to be where they're at. Oh, hold on a second. All right, then I think that is going to do it. We can go past the reserve movement phase. And like I said, I'm not going to disband any more insurgency units. Helicopter transport is null and void. I don't think I'm doing any of that. Everyone is where they're at, and I don't think my helicopters have any more activations. So, let me see here. I do have a bunch of available helicopters in this hex, but everybody there is not moving. They're going to stay put. So, I've already been pretty much through this off camera. Return to base phase. This has to do with helicopters. That would have had to have done with, well, you know that helicopter here? He evacuated, but he really probably didn't have to, but we'll leave him here anyway, because there's a special forces unit somewhere around here in this stack. So, he's been reduced. Now, demolitions phase, we won't have. But I did want to make note of this repair phase in my phase, and I done jumped the gun and flipped this over to 3 at the beginning of my turn, so I should have waited. It should be 4, and now flipped over to 3 right now. So a little eager beaver on my part. Next phase is reinforcements, which we are out of, and then we're at the end of turn phase. So when we come back, moving on to turn 9, everybody will be flipped up the right way. Air units all available and ready for the communist reaction. See what's going on. Like I said, he is behind and needs to eliminate units. Now here's this little table for eliminating units here. 7 or fewer units on the board, 18 victory points, 13, 8, 10, 19, 14. There you go. So right now he's looking at, I think, a 5, because I got plenty of units on the board. He's only eliminated a couple of units. And likewise, that unit I just eliminated, that brigade, was the first real unit that has been eliminated so far. This here is going to be a game of hexes. Every hex counts, and like you could just see, there's not much movement in these combats, so it's a matter of a hex per hex game of inches, or a game of hexes, rather. And there's not going to be a lot of maneuvering and stuff like that. Was it a game of attrition? I don't think so. They're because of the insurgency units' ability to move, but you're not going to see any big blitzkriegs or anything like that. It's going to be pretty much hopping from hex to hex, as the insurgents can do, or as the helicopter transports allow. So there you go. We're ready to find out what the red counters do next. We'll be back. All right, then. This is the state of it. Units that are offset have a helicopter transport underneath them, or attack helicopters. So this hex here, this hex here, this hex here, 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 and here. Now this helicopter is a UHU. I guess it might be a company, but its capacity has been reduced to 1/2, so it's pretty well useless. It can't transport a unit. I guess it can transport a half-strength unit. Yeah, like I said, I didn't think about that. Half-strength unit would probably be a half of a unit, but other than that, he cannot transport any more full-strength units. Too many choppers shot down in that Huey company. All right, we are ready for the communist turn. When we come back, they will be rolling for the weather. We'll be moving our turn marker up here at game turn 9 over here to the communist supply phase. And that's I shouldn't say communist supply phase. When it comes to that part of the game, it's all supply is determined at the beginning of the communist turn and allied turn. Everybody determines their supplies. So we will have an overall both sides supply check after we get a weather roll for my opponent. We let him roll for the weather. So a couple vlogs to open up. I think we're pretty well caught up. Might have a little bit of a lull here because it is my opponent's turn, but it'll go real fast in the world of video. Be back. Alright, for the weather roll, we will have a -1 die roll modifier because the last turn was clear. Anything but a high number equals rain. And for us, the communist roll was a 1. -1, so it means it is severe clear still. Ones are wild. All over the place with that goofy mod. I gotta wonder about that thing. But there you go. Game turn 9. That will be clear weather. And that mostly has to do with air missions, aerial counterinsurgency, and all that good stuff. So all air missions are good. When we come back, we'll be checking for supply on all units for game turn number 9. We only got 3 turns left. Get down to the nitty-gritty. We'll be back. All right, communist turn 9. Regular unit movement is over with, and we can see what's going on here. A little bunch of units are heading for Bloom's Fields, or Blue Fields. It's an airport, or is it an airstrip? Let's see here. I think it might just be an airstrip. Nope, there's another runway there. It's a big old airport, so there you go. They are heading for that. I don't know if they'll have an attack yet. And you go up here. Units turned sideways are the regular units that have moved. The ones that are still straight have not. You can see what's pretty much going on here. He's moving his engineer units, Cuban engineer units down this way. And it's hard to move through these jungles. You can't get a whole bunch of movement points. Like I said, this is going to be a game of individual hexes. Units that are offset have helicopter support. Let me get this guy straightened up here. This stack here has underneath it that white unit. It's that CIA Chinook that can be used for transport and combat support. Just spinning out. Oh, another thing is we've seen he's moving his units pretty much away from the Honduran border and heading over here, feeding units in. Nothing's going to get to the front yet, but they are well on their way. Like I said, he's got 1, 2, 3 turns to get less than at least 13 to 8 insurgency units in Honduras. So there you go. And it does say insurgency. It don't say regular, so I want to check that out. All right, sorry about that interruption. Ran out of storage space. All right, when we come back, like I said, we'll move on to the insurgency movement phase and check out the vlogs. I haven't even seen if there's an email yet, but when we do get one, we will pass it along, give you an update on the communist insurgency movement phase for turn 9 of 12. We're back. All right, then, for my opponent's insurgency movement phase, the insurgency units move sideways have moved. He doesn't have many. The Sandinista army is mostly a regular unit army, but you can see here he's pulled out from the border area. I don't think we have to worry about anything about him going into Honduras. He's looking mostly to push against this group of units here. Trying to get behind me, I guess. I'm not sure. These units here pulled on out. They're vulnerable with their 1 defense factors, but they're doing something heading east to their limit. There you go. We might have attacks going on here. And maybe to get the airstrip back. We'll have to find out what he does with his air missions. That'll tell where his combats come from. Will he attack at the airport yet? I don't know if he's got enough attack factors. Don't know. We'll just see what happens. We're coming up on the insurgency placement phase, and my opponent does have 1 unit that he may spend an insurgency command point on. Ooh, he has... Oh. He has 1 insurgency command point left. Let me make sure. Yep, just 1 insurgency command point left, so he can create 1. Yeah, he's got enough command points, but that'll be it. Unless he disbands 1 and gets a credit. He will not be able to create any more insurgency units this game. Learn down. Me, on the other hand, I'm fat, so that might be the difference of the game maker so far. We'll just see. He's got some great units, some good column shifts. He just has to gather them together and start eliminating units. I would think. I wouldn't say I'd rather be on his side. I think the game's definitely it's his to lose, or mine to lose, because so far I'm definitely got the advantage in insurgency command points and victory points. He has to eliminate units, and so far he's only eliminated 2. So he's got to start putting some units in the eliminated pile. Alright, that'll be it. We will find out where he wants to create an insurgency unit at. He has 1 point left, waiting for the email. Alright, then the communist insurgency placement number was, our roll was 5. He gets a +1 for trying to form in his home country. So this unit here, I'm always, if you see me feeling around and looking through a viewfinder, it's kind of different. But anyway, he is placing his insurgency unit. Oh, I gotta go back and look at the vlog. I was one of these hexes here. I'm pretty sure it's this one, or was it this one? All right. Well, anyway, there you go. He's adding an insurgency unit up here. I guess if that way, if there's an attack, he'll negate my -1 die roll modifier for an insurgency unit. Or is it -2? Yeah, it's -1 for having. You get a -1 die roll modifier if you're a defender if you have an insurgency unit in the defense. You get a +1 die roll modifier if you have an insurgency unit in the attack. So you can see there, his attack was mostly regular units. Now he gets to negate basically this unit here's die roll modifier. Wise move, wise move. We will be back with allied counterinsurgency. That's very interesting. And that unit is out of the Messiah radar range, so he won't be able to intercept me. All I have to do is deliver 3 bombardment points to this hex, and this unit goes back into storage. As a matter of fact, I think this unit's in storage from the last time I did a counterinsurgency mission, but that is using up 3 bombardment points that I could use somewhere else out the way. The difference if I want to take that unit out or not. We'll be right back. Alright, you can see there we got 2 units in the used pile from Air Group 2. The numbers you're looking for are the bottom left. And that is 3 factors. You need at least 3 factors inside of a hex. Ooh, did I just knock everybody down? I think I just did. To remove him. So he's removed, put back in the insurgency placement part of the game track. And I had a successful allied counterinsurgency mission to take him out. He loses the insurgency command point though. So that is it. No more insurgency units to be placed, and that one was successfully counterinsurged. Oh, you know what? I took off the wrong. I took it off the wrong. Alright, yeah, allies. 1, 2, 3. Here you go. 3 allied units. We'll be right back. Alright, well, it was definitely worth the bombardment missions used. You have to use 3 factors. But I was able to send his insurgency unit packing, and he'll get not only won't get his die roll modifier, but he's going to lose an attack factor. So good use of aerial counterinsurgency to block his placement of insurgency units. That will be it for the allied aerial counterinsurgency phase. The next phase will be his disbandment phase, if he wants to disband any units. After that will be his communist air mission phase, which is all his telling for his offensive. We'll call this a video. We're having a great time down here, getting a lot of gaming in and enjoying it. Oh, another thing I want to mention, Steam has their winter sale, and I could have swore they just got done with their fall sale about no more than a couple weeks ago. So that's rare. I'm going to get in there and try to get me a game or 2 for Christmas. One of them I'm looking at is a digital version of We the People, and it's by the same company that does SGS Stalingrad. This is SGS's We the People, though. So just something to look at. Some good games on the PC. We'll be back. When we come back, we will have the other half of the communist turn 9. All right, before we call it a video, we forgot about our soak-off attack. This little boy here has got to attack both of these hexes. It's going to be a 1 to 9. So we'll come over here with our initial combat ratio of a 1 to 4 or less. Oh, let me see here. That is going to be the jungle. 1 to 4 or less. There's a bunch of combat shift modifiers because he's attacking artillery engineers, so it don't get no worse than that. All right, well, let me see. Can it? Yeah, it can. We'll bring it all the way over here for him. There are no insurgency units included in the defense, so he'll be rolling with a +1 gyro modifier. And I'll have to go over to the Vassal mod and take care of that, but he'll be rolling with a +1 gyro modifier. Current combat ratio will be here too. It's as bad as it can get. Like I said, it's a 1 to 9 attack. And he's attacking artillery and everything else, so he's pretty well going to be sacrificed. So we'll see how bad it is, so we come right back. Alright, we get a +1 because we had an insurgency unit, including in the attack. They had no insurgency units included in the defense, and no bombardment points, so it'll be a 6 right here. So a 6 with this is a attacker suffers 1 step loss and must retreat 2 hexes, so he'll be able to survive. 1 step loss here, and 2 hexes will move him back to this little air group. Let me show you what's going on here. He was right here, and then move back under there, so that's not too bad. What I should have did though was insurgency disbanded him, but well, anyway, we'll be right back. All right, running out of battery, but he was half strength. He will move from here to here. I got to put this on charge, and we'll call this a video. When we come back, we'll be on the air mission phase for the communist player.